course, it was Selection Sunday for the women as well, and Iowa got rewarded with a 2 seed. That is the best of any Big Ten team. They also got rewarded by being at home, as we certainly expected they would be. They will open up against Illinois State. It's an Iowa program that's been to the Sweet 16 each of its last 2 appearances in the women's tourney. Indiana at home as well. The Hoosiers will take on Charlotte, the 14 seed. They're in the Bridgeport region, but again, they would potentially get their first 2 games at home. The Hoosiers in the NCAA tournament in back-to-back seasons. First time that has happened since 1994 and 95. Michigan program that made the Sweet 16 last year also gets rewarded by being at home. They are in the Wichita region, but again, potentially 2 games in Ann Arbor, starting with a matchup with American. The 4th straight NCAA tournament for Michigan. That is the longest streak in school history. And no Big Ten school has been to more NCAA women's tournaments than Maryland. They get in for the 29th time. They are the 4 seed in the Spokane region. They, too, get home games starting Friday against the Fighting Blue Hens of Delaware. Maryland in a 4-13 game. So, 4 Big Ten teams in all, if you were following along there, end up getting rewarded by playing at home, headlined by that Iowa team with its 2 seed. Head coach of the Hawks, Lisa Bluter, with Rick Pizzo.
Coach, let's get started with what this week was like for you and your team after the co-regular season championship, the tournament championship, building up to Selection Sunday. How enjoyable were these past 7 days?
You know, it's really nice when you can just sit back and you know in practice that you're in the tournament. It just is a relief. So it was great. I mean, it's been a really good run for us. And then today, our men captured the Big Ten tournament title as well. So it's been a pretty good couple of weeks for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And to be able to get the number 2 seed in that Greensboro regional, obviously the committee thought very highly of your body of work. What was your thought when you saw the number 2 next to your team's name?
I was thrilled. You know, everybody kept asking me what I thought, and I kind of thought, 3, possibly a 2. And when you see that 2 come up there, I just congratulated the women on the team. I mean, for them, 2 months ago, it really didn't look like, we'd be hosting, let alone be a 2 seed. So I'm really proud of the women in our program and what they've done, and excited to start the tournament and have Carver Hawkeye Arena filled.
I'm glad you brought up Carver Hawkeye and hosting record numbers the last time it happened. What should we expect this time around?
Absolutely. I mean, the Hawkeye faithful are so great. And we sold out our last game of the regular season with 15,000 fans. The last time that we hosted the NCAA tournament a few years back, we broke the NCAA record attendance with over 23,000 people between the 3 games. So I know it's going to be a great environment, and we're going to be great hosts.
All right, lastly, Lisa, we have to get into the matchup. It's Illinois State, and as you look all the way down the line, the top seed in your region is the top overall seed in South Carolina. What are your general thoughts on the draw?
Keep an eye on that. I really, beyond Illinois State, that's all I'm thinking about right now. And I don't really even know a whole lot about Illinois State. They're right down the road, but I haven't seen them play this year. So I really am not really, I tell my team always to avoid going down the path of looking ahead to the next game. So I'm certainly not going to do it.
Well, you have to practice what you preach. Otherwise, they're not going to listen to you. And clearly they have been listening all year long. It's been a terrific year. Lisa, we appreciate the time, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward into the NCAA tournament.
Thanks, Rick.
2 other Big Ten teams getting in as well, though they will not host. You see, Ohio State is headed to Baton Rouge. They will get either Florida State or Missouri State. Those 2 are playing in a first 4. The seed for the Buckeyes, number 6, is their lowest since 2012, the 26th time, though, that they have made it to the women's tourney. Nebraska in for the first time since 2018. They get Gonzaga in Louisville. It's the highest seed for Nebraska since 2014. That was also the last year they won an NCAA tourney game. Northwestern on the outside looking in. The Cats had hoped to get a tourney bid, but were not selected. It is Selection Sunday for the women as well. We told you about Ohio State. They get the winner of Missouri State and Florida State. They will play in Baton Rouge on Saturday. Were they to win that game, they would then have to go up against the home team, presumably in LSU, assuming that Tigers are able to get past Jackson State. First things first, though, let's focus in on Ohio State and that matchup with Missouri State or Florida State. And Rick Pizzo caught up with Kevin McGuff.
Coach, let's start with your team's run before we get into the matchup. Playing great basketball at the end of the year, an exciting brand of basketball. When is your team at its best?
Well, we're at our best when we can really get out and transition. Our kids love to play that style of basketball, and we've recruited to it and kind of built our identity and our ability to score in transition.
Yeah, and that style earned you a co-regular season championship. And let's be honest, at the start of the year, there was so much talk about Iowa because of Caitlin Clark, Michigan and Indiana because of the runs they made last year. I think to a lot of people outside of your program, you exceeded expectations. Did you see this run at the start of the year?
Well, going back to the very start, we had a devastating injury to Madison Green, who's so important to us. And so just the fact that we were able to kind of put that behind us and come together as a team and make the progress that we made throughout the year, I'm just really proud of how much progress we've made and how much better we've gotten. And, I can't say I'm surprised at where we are, but just more than that, just really proud of our team.
And earning a number 6 seed to open up, what are your thoughts about the seed and your opening matchup as you get one of those rare times where you actually have to prep for 2 different teams because you'll play the winner of the play-in game between Missouri State and Florida State?
Well, certainly either team is going to be a formidable opponent. I've watched them just a little bit throughout the year, and we'll have to dig into it much deeper. But they're both very well-coached teams. They both had a lot of success. They're both used to winning, so we know we will have our hands full with either opponent.
Kevin, I know coaches have different philosophies on what the most important aspects of prep and getting ready in tournament situations where you have a game, maybe one day off and then another game. What's your philosophy as you enter this version of March Madness?
Well, I think it's a combination of just trying to be the best version of ourselves. I think, this week we'll certainly spend some time just making sure we continue to shore up the things that make us a great team. And then we will start to add in the preparation we're going to need against either opponent. But I just really believe it's most important to be the best version of yourself this time of year.
Lastly, Coach, we see 6 teams from the Big Ten get in. It appears that Northwestern was very close but didn't quite make the cut. Your thoughts on the strength of this league and how this league projects in the NCAA tournament against other conferences?
Well, if you go back all the way back to last year and you see the success we had as a league, I'm not surprised we had this many people in the NCAA tournament, and there's no doubt that we've got some teams that can make some great runs. I'm disappointed for Northwestern. I thought they had an outstanding season and played really well down the stretch and really could have been an NCAA tournament team.
Kevin McGuff and Ohio State set to start their NCAA tournament as a number 6 seed. Congrats on a great year so far, Coach, and we wish you a long run in the NCAA tournament.
Congratulations to the Hoosiers women as well, as they, no great surprise, obviously, for Indiana. They knew they were going to get in. The 3 seed, they get to play at home against the 14 seed Charlotte. So Indiana feeling good potentially with 2 home games for a team that made it to the Elite 8 a season ago. Has had all kinds of injuries this year, but getting healthier now as we head into March. And if they win that one, they would get either Kentucky or Princeton. Megan doing double duty talking with Terry Morin.
Coach, we always talk about playing your best basketball. In March, your team made a great run in the Big Ten tournament to the championship game, and now you draw a 3 seed. Where would you say your team is in terms of playing their best basketball?
Well, first of all, we're excited just about the opportunity to host. This is historic for Indiana women's basketball. We've never, been a host for this tournament. So, one, we're so excited about that, and so excited for Hoosier Nation. I would say we're in a good place. Obviously disappointed that we didn't finish the job at the Big Ten tournament, but nonetheless, I think we took a lot from that tournament, realizing that we can play some really good basketball. We had a lot of great moments. I thought we got a little fatigued there in the last game against Iowa, against a great team. But I do like where our kids are. I like how excited they are about this tournament because of our deep run last year. We're looking forward to, like I said, being in the hall and hopefully seeing how far we can get.
You're going to be in Assembly Hall, and you're also the highest seed Indiana basketball has ever had on the women's side. Why is this group so special to get to this point?
Well, we talk about experience and veterans, but they're so connected, Meg. They love each other. Their chemistry is off the charts. They're super competitive. But I just think the experience, having a super senior like Allie Patberg, who's our leader, is so important. And, they've just continued to rally around each other. We've had certainly some highs and we've had some lows. But one thing about this group is they always show up in big moments.
How much is coming off an Elite Eight tournament run going to help you leading into this year?
I think it's going to help a lot, just because we remember how it felt, to lose. But we also remember, what it felt like to win that Sweet 16 game, and we want to get back, to first the NCAA tournament, but then just to take one game at a time and win.
The Purdue women into the postseason, accepting a bid to the women's NIT, their 30th postseason appearance in school history. So congratulations to them as we turn our attention back to the women. And here's what's ahead for Maryland. You see, they are, as we mentioned earlier, going to be playing at home in College Park. They get Delaware first, and then either Virginia Tech or Florida Gulf Coast were they to move on. They're in the Spokane region with Stanford as the number 1 seed. Christy Winter-Scott collecting the reaction in College Park.
Coach, a 4 seed going out west. What was your emotion when you saw Maryland flash up there on the screen?
Yeah, well, just thrilled. I mean, first and foremost, to earn a top seed, to be able to host. I mean, anytime you can be in your own building, sleep in your own bed. So, that's huge. We love our draw, love our bracket, and, just need to take it one game at a time to be able to advance.
And Delaware, a team I know you haven't had your eyes on yet, but a team that had to grit out a tournament championship.
They really did, and they're really well coached. I mean, I've followed them from afar all season, and gutsy tournament to win their conference. So it'll be a team that doesn't have to travel far. That obviously we're excited to play.
You've said in the past that you've had teams that have taken this opportunity to have that fire underneath of them headed into the NCAA tournament. What is that fire like for this team this season?
Yeah, well, it's the last chapter, of the journey that we're on this season and playing for our seniors. So, it's the best time of the year. And, that fire in their belly, they're excited, to be able to come out and play the best basketball they can.
Coach said you guys are playing your best basketball right now in practice, and you guys are on a different level mentally. What has that been like to recharge after the Big Ten tournament?
It's been great. I know we didn't finish out the tournament the way that we like, but I think these extra practices and, even the loss, it's just fueled us to, be better. And so we've just come in every day in practice, and we did that.
And she said that she has had teams in the past that have really taken this opportunity by the horns. What is it going to take for this team to do that in the NCAA tournament?
I just think a lot of discipline and a lot of effort. We got to go in and play from, beginning to end, no matter what. And so I'm super excited.
Angel, a 4 seed headed out west. What was your emotion when you saw Maryland being selected number 4?
I'm so excited. To have our first 2 games here, that's great. This is my first time having the tournament with fans here. And then, I'm a home girl, so having my family and friends come, it's going to be a really good environment. I'm so happy.
Coach Freeze has said in the past, it has taken a lot to go into the tournament and rebuild, refocus. What has that rebuild and refocus been since the Big Ten tournament concluded?
Yeah, I think we have a chip on our shoulder more this year. Coming off a loss in the Big Ten tournament, I think we're much more hungrier going into the tournament this year, and then just making sure everybody's healthy going into the tournament. Our practices this week have been great. Mindset of all of us being together as one, I think that was really important this week.
And what is it going to take to sustain that level of focus throughout the NCAA tournament?
Just focusing on us. We just have to focus on us, not the outsiders, social media. We can't really get into that. We just have to focus on us. We have, 12 players, and we have to focus on our 12 and then our coaches with us. So that's all we can focus on right now.
The Michigan women celebrating the highest seed in school history. It's the second straight year they've had the highest seed in school history. They are a 3 seed as they head to the tourney for the 4th straight time. They take on American. They get to host as well. You see, if Michigan were to win, they would get either BYU or Villanova in a second game at the Chrysler Center. So things playing out quite nicely for Kim Barnes-Arico, who chatted with Elise.
Coach, congratulations. First, what does it mean to you? Highest seed in program history, a 3 seed.
Yeah, it's incredible and an opportunity to host. We have never had an opportunity to do that before. It just speaks volumes, I think, to our team this year, but also to our league and how it's prepared us to be in this position. And congratulations to all the teams in our league. I think we're really going to represent well in the NCAA tournament.
You mentioned it with that 3 next to your name. You get to host the first and second round. The advantage for that in this program.
Oh, our team's so excited. They're sitting over there talking about the Maze Rage, and they're ready, on the phone with their friends and how many people are we going to be able to get in the stands. We've been great at home this year, and an opportunity once again to play in front of our home crowd is really special, and we never take that for granted with COVID and not having our fans for so long. This year has truly been special. So we always talk about protecting that block end, and once again, we're going to have a chance to be at home, so it's great.
This team and what it's out to accomplish, what can you do in this tournament?
I think we can make a deep run. I think we can win a national championship. I think that we saw that earlier in the year when we were healthy and, all together. And, that's what happens. You play a game of basketball. It's not a perfect game and things happen. But we're not going to sulk in it and we're not going to make excuses for ourselves. I'm just hoping we get back to playing that type of basketball and going as far as we can.
The Nebraska women back in the NCAA tournament. First time in 4 years they have made it. They will head to Louisville for an 8-9 game, taking on Gonzaga. If they win that game, presumably they would get the home team in Louisville. Haven't won an NCAA tournament game since 2014. See if they can end that against the Zags. What a great year for Amy Williams and company. She chatted with Rick.
Coach, let's start with your team specifically. A great run at the end of the season into the Big Ten tournament semifinals. What's the biggest strength that your squad will take with it as it heads into the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think our biggest strength really, Rick, has just been balance and the fact that we can play a lot of different kind of ways that we need to win basketball games. We can, make a lot of 3-point shots. We can pound it in the paint, and we've shown that versatility and that balance and have a lot of different players that can contribute for us. And I think that's our biggest strength.
And we certainly saw that throughout the Big Ten tournament, the 3-point shooting ability of Jazz Shelley, the inside-outside game of Alexis Markowski, obviously Sam Hybe, Izzy Bourne, all contributors to your team. How much confidence did you see your team gain as the year went on, and specifically through that run in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I think that they have gained confidence as they've just really learned to play together. And we've knocked off 3 opponents that are ranked in the top 10 in the country. And our league just presents us the opportunity to have those type of games and opportunities in front of us. We're constantly playing against the best teams in the country. And so when you start to have success and knock off some of those teams, it just builds confidence, and we're going to take that and carry it with us into the NCAA tournament.
And so that NCAA tournament starts with you as an 8 seed against Gonzaga, the 9. It's in Louisville because the Cardinals are the number 1 seed and the host. I know you try never to look ahead, especially when there is a 1 seed. So what is the message to the team?
Yeah, the message at this point is that every single team that has made it into the NCAA tournament is just a tough and quality opponent. So we're going to just lock in and focus on doing whatever we can to put together 40 minutes and try to play Husker basketball and have everybody finding ways to help us contribute. And we're going to go in there and just try to attack and play our best basketball and make another run.
How much do you know about Gonzaga right now? Not a team that we're very familiar with in the Big Ten.
Yeah, to be honest with you, my coaching staff has been kind of watching several opponents that, maybe were projected. I know that several of my assistant coaches have taken a peek at some of their film, but personally, I will have my hands full watching to learn as much as I can about Gonzaga before practice.
Well, Coach, we wish you luck in that prep and, of course, in the NCAA tournament. Amy Williams and the Huskers playing on into March. Coach, thanks for the time and best of luck.